Right then guys, if you saw last week's video, you saw that I went up into the loft to have a big clear out, and it's still absolute carnage in this room. Tons of stuff still out, tons of stuff that still need to be sold. It's an absolute mess. Plan for today is to take some more stuff to CEX. I've also got a big road trip planned, so I'm planning on going to Wolverhampton CEX and Stafford CEX. Love going to different CEXs, especially now I'm not checking on the app to see what's in stock. So big road trip planned, so I'll be sure to take you guys along for the ride. I'm also going to do some filming at Hidden Chest Gaming, which is a local retro gaming shop near me. That video is going to come next week, so be sure to like and comment and subscribe to the Collector's Quest channel to make sure you don't miss that one. Things I'm taking in today, got the PlayStation 3 Slim, the silver one. Now that I've got that black Super Slim, no need to keep that. Echo, there's also a, right at the bottom, a Indigo GameCube. Take that. Another Xbox One controller. So I tried to take that big bag of DVDs to Merry Hill to trade in yesterday. Merry Hill being Merry Hill, took all the DVDs out, guy scanned them, and he said, because you're bringing in so many DVDs, I'm going to have to send off a bulk request to head office. So I waited around for 10 to 15 minutes and then went back to CEX, and there was a massive queue, so I ran out of time, so I left those behind. But it's so annoying every time you go to Merry Hill CEX. They always make it so hard to trade stuff in, so I'm left with those DVDs. But wasn't a wasted journey to Merry Hill. I actually picked up these two DVDs from the charity shop, so I paid £6 in total for these two, and there's £18 CEX voucher value in those. So for those who haven't seen my car boot hunts, what I like to do, I like to triple my money. I learned that from watching Retro Rummage. So for every £1 I spend, I like to make £3 back. So those two items there, bang on the money, spend £6, I'm going to get an £18 CEX voucher. So not a wasted journey there. So get the car loaded, we'll head to Stourbridge CEX to trade that stuff in. Then we'll head to Hidden Chest Gaming to do some filming. Then we'll go back to Stourbridge CEX to hopefully pick up that voucher for all that stuff in that bag. Then we'll head to Wolverhampton CEX. I think there's 2 CEXs in Wolverhampton area. Then we'll head to Stafford CEX, and then we'll come back and we'll go over the pickup. So plenty on today's video, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Right then, I'm on the way to Stourbridge CEX. Forgot to mention in the last video that I've got £170 on the CEX voucher. Hopefully this heavy bag I'm carrying is going to give me a couple more £100, so should have about £300 to play with, so fingers crossed to take everything in. Decided to take a look in the charity shops as I had some time to burn. Had this pretty cool Danganronpa t-shirt in the one charity shop, but I'm pretty sure extra small female's not going to fit me, so I left that one behind. We then get to the only charity shop that had any notable games, and apologies for the camera angle, but this charity shop has their games behind the counter, so I'm trying my best not to get anyone behind the counter in the shop. But they actually had Fist of the North Star Ken's Rage for Xbox 360 for £30. On face value that is expensive for a charity shop, but when you compare it to the CEX price of £45, it's actually £15 cheaper here, so not a bad price to pay for this game. Right then guys, I've just got back in the car from Stourbridge CEX. Shout out to Stourbridge CEX, always so smooth when I go in there. Staff are really friendly, love going to that CEX, definitely my favourite in the local area. Trading everything apart from a PS3 controller. Unfortunately, the serial number had been scratched off on the back, so I couldn't trade that in, but no worries. But trading in all the electronics in that big Sports Rec bag, and I got £172 on a voucher if obviously everything passes the testing. Got to wait a couple of hours, so no worries. I also traded in those 2 DVD box sets from the charity shop and another DVD and got £19 on a voucher. So hopefully, all things being well, we should end up with about £190, £200 on a voucher, which would be really good to add to the £170. So we'll be looking at about £400 on a voucher to go and spend at CEX, which is really good. I had a whiz around the charity shops in Stourbridge, but they're always pretty dead, to be fair. I think because we live in a local area with so many CEXs and retro gaming shops, there's never really an incentive to take stuff to the charity shop anymore. But shout out to Mary Stevens Hospice. I did go in there and they actually had a copy of Fist of the North Star Ken's Rage for Xbox 360 with the manual for £30. I want to hear from you guys down below, because £30 is quite expensive for a charity shop, but that game actually sells at CEX with the manual for £45 and they give you a £30 voucher. So I actually think that game's not too badly priced at Mary Stevens Hospice. Obviously, I'd have loved to walk in there, paid a couple of quid and traded it in for a £30 voucher, but it's a good price if you want to add that game to the collection. Didn't pick it up because I'm not really a Xbox 360 collector, but would have picked it up for the PS3 if it was on the PlayStation 3, so not too bad. I'm now going to drive to Hidden Chest Gaming in Brierley Hill, do some filming, then we'll come back to Stourbridge CEX to hopefully pick up a nice, big, fat, juicy £172 voucher. I'm currently walking up to Hidden Chest Gaming. Haven't been here for ages, so I'm not too sure if it is, but I'm pretty sure it's down one of these little rows down here, so I'll see you when we get in there. It's definitely not down there, that's some chair factory or sewing factory there, so I've gone the wrong way. Right, we found it now. Just come out of the brilliant Hidden Chest Gaming. Shout out to Dana, great guy. Let me in 10:30, they normally open at 11, so let me in early to film, so massive shout out to him, top guy. And the other guy that ran the shop is really nice, really friendly. Great shop as well, so make sure you keep a lock to the Collector's Quest channel. Video will be coming probably next Friday. Full shop tour, picks up some games of course, but we'll go through those on next week's video. But great shop. Always recommend supporting your local businesses because in today's day and age it's really hard to start a business, so massive props to Dana and what he's done there. Great shop, real clean. If you're into retro video games, Pokemon cards, old 8-bit games, then get yourself down to Hidden Chest Gaming in Brierley Hill because got tons of stuff there. Dana is also the organisation of the Black Country Games Fair in Bilston at the Robin Hotel, Sunday 2nd of March. Get yourself down there, going to be tons of traders there. Obviously Hidden Chest Gaming, Vintage Gamer, all the local retro game shops will be down there, so get yourself down there. I'll be there doing some filming, picking up some bangers, so make sure you're there. But massive shout out to Dana, thank you for letting me film around there, mate. Top shop. Awesome to go around local game shops because there's not many about now, so shout out to him. I spent way too much time in there. I could have spent another few hours in there, but I do need to get moving. Got in at 10:30, it's now about 12:30, so 2 hours just flew by. Absolutely fantastic shop. So I'm going to head to Stourbridge where I should hopefully pick up that £170 CEX voucher. Then we're going to fly to Stafford. It's saying on the sat nav about an hour, so it's not too bad. I'll whack on a podcast and we'll put it along there. So I'll catch you when we hopefully get to Stourbridge with that £170 CEX voucher. Right, just got out of Stourbridge CEX. Everything traded in, all good. Got £178 on a voucher, which is amazing. That takes me up to about 350, 360 in terms of vouchers, so amazing, got plenty to spend. It was quite funny, I was waiting in the queue and the guy at Stourbridge CEX that tests everything said, "Oh, I've tested all of that, all of those things. Is the YouTuber going to come back?" And I've never been referred to as a YouTuber, so that was pretty cool. But going to fly over now to Stafford CEX, which is about an hour's drive, and then going to go to Wolverhampton. Right, I'm on the way to Stafford CEX now. Parked up. Drive wasn't too bad. Didn't help that half the M6 was closed, so I had to go down some trepidous roads, but I think I'm heading in the right direction. Pretty sure this is Kale's local stomping ground, so shout out to Kale. Big fan of his channel, so who knows, maybe we'll see him at the CEX. It turns out I was heading in the complete opposite direction towards Stafford CEX, but anyways, taking a look outside, we've got two Far Cry 5 collector's editions here, but for some reason one was priced at £80 and the other one was priced at £75, so no idea if that's just a pricing mistake. But heading into Stafford CEX, we got a couple of heavy hitting DS games. Didn't realise Caroline was so expensive, £95 for the DS, that's insane. Also got a couple of heavy hitting Xbox 360 and GameCube games here, but nothing else really calling my name. Moving over to the PlayStation 3 section, got a couple of fairly expensive games in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance for £18 and the Jack and Daxter Classics HD Trilogy for £32. Shout out to Kawa here, love watching his channel, and I saw last year he picked up a bunch of Dark Souls Trilogy for the PlayStation 4 from an Amazon Prime deal. I think he paid £25 for these and he traded them into this CEX and a couple of other CEXs. So I'm guessing these are just from that deal and explains why we're seeing so many Dark Souls Trilogies in this CEX. This is the ultimate disrespect to any game here. So not only have we got a ugly, disgusting PlayStation 3 Platinum case, but we got a cover reprinted, guys. I'm after this game so desperately. Picked it up last week in a CEX lottery and it came with no manual. Travelled all this way for this game and other games and it was a cover reprinted. Man, hopefully one day we get this game added to the collection. Decided to head into the local cash converters while I was in Stafford and had a couple of decent games. Had this Spider-Man game which was £40 and I think it's cheaper here than it is at CEX. I had great difficulty trying to put this back on the shelf, so I had to just slide it right at the end. They also had this decent steelbook for Dragon's Dogma 2 on the PS5. I think it was £25, so not a bad price really. And they also had Scarface for PS2 for £10. I think that's £8 cheaper than CEX. I think they have it for £18 at CEX, so not a bad deal if you're looking to pick that up for the collection. Right, just pulled up into Wolverhampton and I was thinking, God, there's a lot of people around. Then it clicked. There's a lot of people going towards the Custard Factory, aka the Molyneux Stadium, to watch Wolves. So just my luck, typical. Haven't been into Wolves for years and first time I do, there's a Wolves game on. So I'm going to head to CEX in the Manda Centre, then there's one in the Wolf Run. So 2 CEXs, let's go. Jumped straight into Manda Centre CEX in Wolverhampton because not a lot was happening outside, so having a look at the PS3 and I saw this nice Borderlands 2 cardboard sleeve for £1.50, so stick around to find out if I pick that up. Got a spicy game here in Play by the Mansion for PS2, decently expensive for what it is for £10. They've also got an obscure Resident Evil game in Resident Evil Outbreak for the PS2 for £15, not one that you see all too often. Heading over to the Wolf Run CEX, which is a 2-minute walk up from Manda Centre CEX in Wolverhampton. Going over the Glass Cabinet of Dreams, I had a ton of retro stuff here. A lot of this went straight over my head because I'm not a retro collector. I thought I struck gold here, so I've been after the Red Dead Redemption 2 steelbook for ages and I finally found it. Got it out of the sleeve cover and unfortunately the tin case was absolutely battered. Had a big dent in it, so didn't want to pick that up for £18, but fingers crossed we pick it up some point in the future. I was trying to pick up Lost Planet 2 and Lost Planet 3 here, but Lost Planet 2 was a cover reprinted and Lost Planet 3 was water damaged, so I left those two behind. Just got back from CEX in Wolverhampton and got some really good stuff, got a smile on my face. So I went to the Manda CEX in the Manda Centre, picked up a nice collector's edition and a cheap cardboard sleeve. I then went to the Wolf Run CEX because Wolverhampton's quite strange. I've got 2 CEXs pretty much 2 minutes apart. So I went to the Wolf Run CEX and got some real nice things. Got a heavy hitting PlayStation 2 game. And it was just great in there. I was talking to the guys for a good 30-40 minutes just about games, JRPGs, just geeking out. And I love it when CEX staff are so social and knowledgeable about games. I just want to have a conversation with you. It's just amazing. It just makes the whole shopping experience so much better. So I've got a massive smile on my face. Could have been there for hours, but got to get home now because I'm going out in a bit. So I'm going to shoot home now. Then we'll go over the pickups and we'll finish off the video. So see you when we get back home. Right guys, that's been a whole 24 hours since you saw me in the Manda Centre car park in Wolverhampton. Got back home yesterday and then shot straight out to meet up with some friends, and by the time I got home it was midnight, so I didn't fancy filming that. So I'm going to do the pickups now and the outro. So first up, picked up Borderlands 2 for £1.50 for the PS3. Comes in this nice cardboard sleeve, and for £1.50, couldn't leave it there. Got tons of memories playing that, so it'll look cool on the shelf. Next up, got the Banner Saga trilogy for PS4. Paid £15 for it. Heard nothing but good things about this, so when I saw it in Stafford, had to pick it up. We then got the Final Fantasy 13 Collector's Edition for PS3 for £20. I do already own this on the Xbox 360. You might be able to see it if I can point up there on the shelf. But I'm more of a PS3 collector, so I'll probably trade in that one up there for the 360 and I'll add that to the shelf because I've already got the Final Fantasy 10 Collector's Edition on PS3, so I think that'll go better on the shelf. I'll do some overlay as well to go through this just so it's not awkward trying to do the filming here. Next up, we've got Space Marine for PS3 for £20. This game has shot up in value since the Space Marine 2 game came out last year. This was about £6 to £10 back before that game got massive hype, so thought I'd pick it up because I can't see it coming down massively, so want to play that at some point in the future. Next up, we got Death Stranding for PS5. Picked this up in Stafford. It's quite an uncommon game for how popular Death Stranding was, so happy to finally pick that up, and I can't wait to dive into Hideo Kojima's weird mind in that one. We now got a couple of obscure JRPGs, so we got Shin Megami Tensei Lucifer's Call for PS2 for £25. I'm an Atlas fanboy. Anytime I see an Atlas game and I don't already have it in the collection, got to pick it up, and this was from the Wolverhampton CEX. I also picked up Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga for the PS2, again in Wolverhampton CEX. It comes nice and complete with a manual, and like I said yesterday, shout out to the Wolverhampton CEX. Staff in there were brilliant, so social and so knowledgeable about games, and I love it when CEX staff go out the way to talk to you about games. It just makes the whole shopping experience so much better, so definitely recommend going to the Wolverhampton CEX in Wolverhampton. Next up, we get to a bit of a fail with Project Sci-Feed for the Xbox 360. This was £50, and on close inspection, you might be asking, what's the fail here? I didn't notice this until I got home, but it's actually a Polish copy. Don't know if you can tell there, but it only has Polish writing, Czech Republic writing, and a couple of other Eastern European countries. It's still PEGI or PAL, as you can see there, but I'm not sure how I feel about having a Polish copy. I don't even know CEX are allowed to take in foreign copies, even though they're still PEGI or PAL, so I'm going to return that because it's £50, it's a lot of money, and I'd rather have the English version for that money, so that's going to go back. Another game that was £50 was Silent Hill, the HD Classics version for PS3. I know a ton of people have said that this isn't the best version to play through Silent Hill 2 and 3, and obviously with the Silent Hill 2 remake that came out last year, that was my game of the year. You're probably better off sticking with that, but listen, I said last week I want to go for all of the Classics HD games on the PS3, and this is one of the more expensive ones to tick off the list, so when I saw it in Wolverhampton CEX in Wolverhampton, had to pick it up, nice and complete with a manual, so happy with that. And then finally, we get to the Big Daddy, the most expensive game I picked up today. We've got God Hand for the PlayStation 2 for £92. Again, from Wolverhampton CEX. I had a ton of heavy-hitting games, and this game, I've seen so much footage of this. This game looks absolutely batshit crazy. It's a Capcom game, and it looks mental. Some of the combos I've seen on this is insane, and it's got a pretty interesting mechanic where the better you play, the harder the game gets, so definitely one I'm looking forward to jumping into at some point in the future. And Capcom has got so many weird games on the PS2, so I highly recommend checking their back catalogue for obscure Capcom PS2 games. So that's everything I picked up from yesterday's haul. Had an absolute blast. Obviously, starting off with a fantastic Hidden Chest Gaming. My pickups are down there. I'm going to film that later, and that's going to be on next week's video on Friday. So subscribe to Collector's Quest channel if you haven't done so already to see the fantastic work that the guys at Hidden Chest Gaming have been doing. Shop tour coming your way. And I'm still in an absolute mess, guys. Slowly getting there. Obviously, yesterday was good. Made over £300 again in CEX vouchers, so can't complain, but we've got PS2 in there. There's a fat PS2 at the bottom of that bag. Still got loads of Xbox 360s. I've still got magazines that I need to sort. These are some old Nintendo magazines that I bought a while ago. I don't know if I need to keep all these, but they're pretty cool. I might frame some of them because some of them got really iconic cover art, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with those. But the plan is to carry on going for all of that stuff and just keep getting the vouchers in and keep picking up heavy hitting games for the collection. So like I said earlier, keep it locked to the Collector's Quest channel. Got that amazing shop tour coming next week, and obviously we've got more pickups coming and more CEX tours, so keep it locked to the channel. And as always, good luck on your game hunts and collecting adventures. Take it easy, YouTube, and I'll catch you in the next one.